All right, welcome to episode 21 of GrandLine Grinders, and today we're with the small group this week with just me and DatHalfBreed, and today we're going to talk about DatHalfBreed's experience in his actual R's being regionals yesterday. So, and um, we're also going to discuss a little bit about the what we have issues with PRBO2 when it comes to pull rates and stuff like that. And we also might have another small amount of discussions as well. And of course, if you're live, uh, we also might have some questions from chat. So it's a little bit different podcast today. It's a little bit more fun. And of course, we're always going to lead off with the weekly power rankings. But how you doing today, DeHapri?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a very weird regional, but it ended up being pretty fun. I had a good time overall. And I guess one other thing I wanted to say, I gotta say, happy belated birthday, right? It was your birthday recently.
Yes, yesterday.
Nice.
Yes,
So, well,
36 years
happy
old.
birthday. It's cool. Yeah,
Can't you tell by my
another
face? I'm old.
rotation around the sun and whatnot. Yes, we do all get older. I'm officially in my 30s now too, but still, congratulations from me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm doing good. I hope you had a decent birthday.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We went to Chili's, so we had a night out away from the kids. So yeah, fun times. That's all you get asked for once you have kids. You get 2 hours every 6 months. All right, so
Makes sense.
let's go ahead and dive right in. Um, so the power rankings, noticeable changes. Grape Luffy went up one notch. Smoker I think went up 4 notches, and Shanks went up back
Yep.
in. I think with Blackbeard going down. What do you think about this?
Yeah. I mean, GP Luffy went up a couple of spots, but it also gained like some real win percentage points, right? It's just incredibly, it's way more consistent now, and it has way less counterless cards in it. And they're finally getting to decent builds where it feels like they know how to beat both Rayleigh and Zoro and UP depending on the matchup, right? Like if you're playing against UP, you're looking for a stage plus Luffy Taro. If you're playing against Zoro, you have cards like Thunder Bagua, and they also play like sometimes they'll play the Chopper Blocker, sometimes they'll play Hell's Judgment, and with the extra searchers, you just have less counters cards, more consistency, and it's just a overall like really strong deck. Like Sanji Pudding plus GP Luffy is just really strong, and like that's been kind of the most impactful PRB card so far. And then the other two big winners do seem to be Smoker and Shanks off the back of like the 6-drop law, because that card is really like excellent, man. The 6-drop law is so good. It's incredibly hard to deal with because it doesn't die to most removal. Makes combat really hard by giving things -2, makes removal better, is just a decent sized body and like searchable in a lot of decks, right? There was in the regional I played in, at one point, there was a 7-0 PRB Sanji. And that's not like in this top 10 list, but it is a real like tier 2 deck now, that PRB Sanji aggro deck. I think that deck is sick. And, it made it to 7-0 in the regional at one point.
That's good. That's pretty nice. So what do you think about Smoker? Like, it looks like somehow Shanks has a positive win rate. I guess this could alter week to week, depending on how lucky you are with your draws and if you get the right curve and all that stuff. I mean, if you have a good week with Shanks, probably is barely above 50% win rate deck.
Yeah. It's just like, I think in all seriousness, that entire like percentage point of winning is the one extra life that Shanks has. Like the one extra life is just so powerful in so many matchups, because there's so many matchups where you just don't want to go to zero. Going to zero is just too risky, right? Like against Rayleigh, because they have unblockable, they'll just kill you. Against Zoro, they have their restand event. They'll just kill you, right? So being able to not go to zero is so huge. And Shanks is so much better at that than Smoker is, like
Yeah.
Smoker needs to curve out and then kill you, but Shanks just needs to like curve out or not die. And it's a lot easier to not die than it is to kill them, which is why I like where Shanks is right now. And once again, the law is so good in Shanks. Being able to play the law on 6, which is a slot that you didn't really have a good card for anyway. You just had a bunch of 4s and 5s. And like, no, you are going to be able to attack with that law because it is so hard for them to kill it, right? Even if they have Tashigi or whatever to rest it, you still have your leader effect plus cards, and it's a 7K body. It's like totally reasonable, right? So the
Yeah.
law is so good in Shanks. Law into Rayleigh is excellent. Law into Beckman, like
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, honestly, I think Shanks is probably the best deck for Law because of the fact that the follow up play is arguably the best you can get. Right? You have the best removal with Rayleigh, or you have the second best removal with Beckman. Either way, like the Law into Beckman or Rayleigh is just a really powerful line. Um, and arguably, you could argue maybe they need to lean more into that style if they want to have a shot against UP Luffy because they need to be aggressive, also pretty good at interacting with the board at the same time to have a good shot against Luffy. So maybe they have enough pieces now where they can
yeah,
actually have that. Because I know like for like purple decks, especially like purple Luffy, I know they really depend on 9-drop Luffy secret rare to combat blue purple Luffy. So like you need to have something like that, maybe in Shanks as well, that can just put it over the top and kind of get that matchup, close it. If he could do that, I think Shanks would be a real player, at least up until OP13.
yeah. The law really does help because like it can't get hit by Red Rock or the 9-drop Mihawk or even like God's Threat or anything like that. And also makes a lot of your removal spells against their big guys even better. So like that's the main way to win against UP now is to have 2 copies of the 6/7. But I mean the win percentage is still abysmal, right? I think it says 20. Is that 25, 23, or 28?
For
The Shanks versus UP on the right.
oh, it's a 70.3% in favor of blue purple. Yeah, it's
Oh,
29.7.
so 29%.
Yeah,
20,
that's
yeah,
really
yeah,
bad. But that's like their only lopsided matchup.
yeah.
Their second worst is Zoro, but they're good into Grape Luffy, which is a really good deck. They could probably, I gotta imagine, again, Smoker is probably 50-50 most of the time. Even though it says it's like a
Yeah.
1.5% under. But against Bonnie, it's really good. A 62.3% win rate against
Yeah, the
him.
main reason to play Shanks right now, it feels like, is because of Bonnie.
And I gotta imagine they have to be able to do something to bridge the gap into Rayleigh. I mean, Shanks has a lot of removal, and they have to be able. There's something they have to probably be able to do to bridge that gap. It seems like a matchup where they could get points towards. I mean, smoke. I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense. I don't think it's gonna be very hard for them to gain points against Zoro if they don't have Black Vortex or anything that can bat Zoro. But Rayleigh, it could be something they could target and actually pull that into be a slightly positive. I don't know how they do it though.
yeah. I'm not sure what the way to be better against Rayleigh is, whether you have to go back to like playing the Punk Hazard Sanji or I'm not sure what could help there. Maybe like more copies of the 5-drop Marco or something like that. I think that's what a lot of people do. But there's definitely ways to make it not that bad. And the biggest upside of Shanks right now is definitely how good the matchup is against Bonnie.
I gotta imagine the 4-drop 6K blocker is pretty good into Rayleigh, isn't it?
It's like okay, but oftentimes the problem isn't like the Luffy's or whatever. It's the fact that you just get pinged down by a million one drops.
But besides that, like, so, and now kind of staying the same. It has a slightly under good rating, but it's still a positive. That's probably, I don't know if that's because of the fact that there's not that much to list. I mean, that's a very low, it's actually the lowest deck, match wise at least, out of everything here in the top 10 is an L. What do you think the why this subpar rating here is for?
Enel is just a deck that has like super lopsided matchups, right? It's like the good matchups are really good and the bad matchups are really bad. And also it's like a deck that people really, really love to hate and almost like hate to love, where a lot of people are I feel like its play rate is so low because people always get so much hate when they play it, and like people hate losing to triggers, but that's kind of what Enel is. It's like the main deck that lets you get free wins off of triggers, and
I think I
yeah,
think
the
I
the
think
matchups again decks like Zoro is so good.
I think the other knock to it is probably because a lot of people want to get they want to like skyrocket to the top of the bounty charts, and Enel does like is one of the slowest decks, slower decks, I should say, out of
Yeah,
these. Like, so it takes a little bit longer to get your wins. Maybe that has something to do with it, or you can get your wins faster and rank up faster with Luffy, Grape Luffy that is, or Zoro. Maybe that's another component.
yeah,
I mean, Teach also is a very slow
that too for
deck,
sure.
so I mean it's also a little bit lower. It's kind of reflected here. The least played decks are the slowest decks. But overall, that's a pretty interesting
Yeah, I mean,
calculations. So looking at this data,
the one
so
exception is UP, right?
yeah, UP. I feel like a lot of times though people just give up when you're on it and you're just
Yeah.
doing good. They just give up. So, but looking at this data in the charts, how did your regionals go yesterday? Um, and what matchups did you face, and did you lose and beat, and what were you on?
I was on green purple limb,
Oh,
and I I had a bunch of interesting matchups. I ended up going up 7-3, and I played against blue purple Luffy a lot. It was my most played against deck. I played it against it 5 times in the tournament, I believe, 4 or 5 times, and I beat it 3 times and lost twice. One of which was definitely me throwing, and the tournament was also won. Like the winner of the tournament was um Jonas Abraham, one of North America's best, on blue purple Luffy. And like the format kind of still is very much dominated by blue purple Luffy. It's like the most popular deck by a lot. And even though there are some decks that have like higher win percentages overall, it's just like so consistent. And like the nut draws that you can have, especially with the 9-drop Sanji, are like such a problem or whatever. Those are almost all of the games I lost, is when my opponent like played 9-drop Sanji. One of the games against UP that I lost was because he went 9-drop Sanji, 8-drop Doflamingo into Rosinante. So he went from no characters to 3 characters in one turn, and then like I just got beat down the next turn to death. So it was really rough.
yeah, that actually was surprising to me that you took Lim 7-3 with Lim. That's pretty good for a Lim deck. So what were your good matchups? What'd you beat?
Yeah, I mean UP is definitely the good matchup. I also beat a green purple Luffy, and I beat Bonnie. I lost to, yeah. My 3 losses were to blue purple Luffy twice and to Zoro once. I lost to Zoro round 1. And then
Yeah, that seems like a
round
very
2, I got a bye. My opponent left, and then round 3, I lost to Blue Purple Luffy, but I made a pretty good rally back from 1-2 to 7-3 off of one other free win. I had 2 buys during the tournament, basically, of like people that had to leave or didn't feel like playing anymore.
yeah, but that has to be a very weird matchup. Lim into Zoro, like your stuff comes into play tapped. That's a huge tempo loss for you as a Lim player. I mean, regrettably, some of them do untap themselves at the end step, but
Yep.
that can be very awkward. The fact that you always have tap stuff for them to attack into.
It's definitely one of your not so good matchups. But like I was mainly because like there were 2 reasons why I played Lim. The first was like I was tempted to play Bonnie, but both I wasn't able to get hold of the premium booster cards soon enough. Like I wasn't able to get my hands on them yet, which we're going to talk about a little bit more later. And
Mm.
then the other thing too is just that like I was kind of tired of losing to Blue Purple Luffy, and I wanted to play something that had like at least a somewhat decent matchup against it. And I found that my matchup with Lim was pretty good into Blue Purple Luffy. I ended up 3-2 against Blue Purple Luffy in the tournament, but like I said, one of the games I lost, he had a really high nut draw, and one I like kind of threw due to misplays of my own. But I did beat Blue Purple Luffy even on 2 games where I lost the die roll. So Lim usually really wants to go first because the leader ability costs 3. But you can still win sometimes if you go second, and I managed to pull it off twice, which was really nice.
The 3-2 record with a budget-ish deck is pretty good. Like you can't really argue beating the best deck,
Yeah.
one of the best decks in the format with a deck that's like
Mhm.
$60. So that's like a
Yeah.
win-win. That's a
Yeah.
win-win for sure. Did you get top 64 or did you just miss out?
No, no. It was a ten round tournament. So, and my breakers were really rough because I lost early in the tournament. It's usually better if you lose later on in the tournament. So I ended up like 140th place, like just outside of top 128, which is a little unfortunate, but
Still,
it was fine. Still get some extra, like an extra pack, and I had a good time.
yeah. I mean, that's probably better than I would have done. Um, but I definitely would like to be able to get into a regionals. I just need to find one to do.
Yeah, next time signups happen, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's on in paper, I'm just trying to find one around me that has it. I mean, I gotta imagine
Oh,
high
you
school,
mean the store regionals?
even regionals at a store. I mean, I'm fine with, or
Yeah.
I'll do
You
in
should be
paper.
able to look up the store regionals. You should be able to look up store regionals. There's store regionals in November that you can look up through the Bandai TCG app now. And like I applied for 2 store regionals in November near me. So it's definitely worth looking into because the signups are up now for most of the tournaments are in early November.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same thing, right? In a store championship and regional against online regionals, they're same qualifying, right?
No.
They're not.
What? No.
So,
Store regionals are much smaller. Usually they're 5 or 6 rounds, or maybe like yeah, they're 5, 6, sometimes 7 rounds.
I mean, but
Um,
did they get you
and
qualify for
the top
Nats?
2, you can get a qualify for Nats through them, yes, but it's only top 2.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
And
like,
in regionals, like the bigger regionals are 9 or 10 round tournaments, and then like top 32 or 64 qualify for Nats,
okay. I mean, yeah.
depending on the
So that's no
size.
different than Magic the Gathering where they had the RCQs, the top two in my store. That's how I got the invite. I was second place,
Yeah.
and yeah. So it's the
Mhm.
same thing, kind of in that regard. Um,
Yeah. Store regionals are like RCQs, but like online regionals or paper regionals are like GPs.
yeah, that sounds about right because usually that's about a in paper big tournament. Yeah. So yeah,
Mhm.
I want to try one and just get my feet wet. Um, even if it's an in paper or
Yeah.
regional, like I have to get used to be playing the game in paper, but not miss my triggers.
Mhm. Log on to the Bandai app and look up the store regionals for November and see if there's anything. You can look around up to like 50 miles around you, so you could see what is around you. I'm sure there's something.
I gotta imagine. I mean, St. Louis is not a small city. I mean, even
No.
if yeah, so one of those things. Yeah. So yeah, do you have any other things you wanted to talk about regarding your experience yesterday?
Um, no, I really like the Limb deck. It's just something that's like a deck that I like. It is relatively consistent, aggressive, but actually plays like medium size and beefy bodies. Because I'm not usually a big fan of like all the Rayleigh peck people a bunch of times for 5. But it has a decent removal, a good aggro curve, and it was nice that I just had like a lot of time in between rounds because I either won very fast or I lost very fast, and that helped a lot in terms of like start warming me up for playing more competitive events as well. I'm playing in another regional on Saturday, and I'm probably going to play Bonnie in that one if I can get the 3-drop Bonnies in time. So I think it was great practice for that.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about because when I qualified for the RCQ to the regionals, both of them I played Mono Red Wizards in Pioneer, and then I played Boros Wizards. So like both of them, I felt like it was quick matches. I was able to, except when I faced control. We don't talk about those. Um, they don't exist.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was great because you had like like 30 minutes to just getting done and going, and either getting a sandwich or just do whatever you need to prep for the next one. It was nice instead of being a grindy deck like a control deck, and you're sitting there, you're basically going to time every time. So is there a reason why for one, I guess, did you actually test Lim the week up to the event, or you just dusted it off and played?
No, I did do a decent amount of testing on stream. Played a bunch of games on ranked and like had a good time. Had like made myself a little notepad like list of stuff to like look out for in specific matchups, just like in terms of opening hands or whatever, right? And I was just like, okay, as long as I know what to look for in an opening hand and like what plan I'm supposed to go for based on what opening hand I have, um, it was pretty nice, right? Where it's just like, okay, so if I can keep a hand, like if I have a Sabo and 2 2Ks, that's keepable because then you put the character into play, rest it, and you can still defend it. Otherwise, I should mulligan for like the 1-drop limb or something that untaps itself so it doesn't just die right away by them attacking it. And like, just like little things like that, having a basis of a plan so that I can, then like save myself some thinking, basically.
I totally get that one. Um, so I guess we can go ahead and switch gears and talk about PRBO2. So hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we were talking about before we started the podcast. One issue that I have with this, I have no problem, and I understand why they did these 15 brand new cards in PRBO2. What I understood the reasoning is the people in the East already have cheap cards, so their cards are super dirt cheap anyway. So PRB sets are not very marketable to Japan. So they added these 15 cards to make the set marketable to Japan. I totally have no problem with that. My issue more is the fact that they printed a bunch of stuff that didn't need reprints, and shoved it in. I'm happy they have Rosie. I think I have a playset of this now. I have a playset of Rebecca now for 50 cents a pop. I have 3 Shanks. I'm happy with that. Like, I managed to pick up quite a bit of these for like really cheap. I have now my 4 dragons to get ready for Sabu. And OP 13, but like Bonnie, I only have 6 of these things. I don't know what I'm doing with this 5 drop Bonnie. Like, I guess she's fine to be a budget Cavendish for now, while I till I earn a Cavendish for Bonnie, but I'm not overly excited about that. Like, I understand Sanji need reprinted. Carrot, I'm actually fine with that one out of these. This is actually the card that between the two should have been in the set because Carrot actually sees play in every deck. Not too many decks play Bonnie. Like, it's like that was my biggest thing. Like, there's so much extra secret, super rares and rares in this set that they just deflate the chances of pulling the brand new cards. Um, and that's kind of where I'm
The
gonna leave it.
Mihawk and the Crocodile reprinted again.
I mean, I don't think they were technically
For example,
printed,
yeah.
but they weren't like overly expensive. They were $3 a card. Um, and Buggy kind of just dropped off the face of the planet. So that's a different story. But yes, I totally get it. They wanted to reprint and gear towards all the new starter decks. Like, I mean, I'm fine they put Teach in the deck in this set. I mean, it's 30-50 cents now, but if you're playing Blackbeard, it's a pretty good card to have. I was a little kind of sad that they didn't put Kuzan in here instead, though. Like, Kuzan's kind of more important. It's a little bit more expensive. But that's just me. The 5 drop Kuzan.
The 10. Oh, okay.
The one that you sack and get something back, you draw a card from Blackbeard. That's
Mm-hmm.
arguably the most expensive
Yep.
card in Blackbeard, but they did 10 drop Teach.
Yep.
They're the same rarity, I believe. But so, what are your thoughts on the
Yep.
at least the pull rates? Because I think they have like a very high. There's like 150, I think. I can't remember the exact number. There's quite a bit of rares and quite a bit of super rares in the set. Makes it hard.
Yeah. I definitely also kind of hear what you're saying, where it feels like the reprint set is something that is like desperately needed in the West, right? Like so many of these cards now finally are actually reasonably priced. Like Cavendish is like $7, $8 down from 40. Mister Two is like $15 to $20 down from like 60. You know, and these reprints are like really helpful, but it does feel like they reprinted a little bit too much, like you said. I almost wish the packs I almost wish that the reprint sense didn't feel the need to have like the same number of cards in the pack as like a regular pack or whatever, right? Like make it maybe just 5 or 7 cards, but they're all good reprints or whatever. And in terms of the new cards, it's really tough because it's like I like all the new cards in terms of gameplay because it was a really nice update for the format in terms of like it really only helped decks that like kind of needed a little bit of love and didn't affect the format that much overall. It was like a small tweak, but how hard they are to get has been a real problem, right? Like the new cards in the set kind of like defeat the purpose of the reprint set in the West because it's like you have the reprint set to drive prices down, but then there's new cards in the reprint set that are all super expensive and now have the same thing of like, okay, are you going to reprint the cards you printed in the reprint set in the next reprint set? And do we just live in that loop forever now?
Yeah, so I definitely think they should have like
Yeah.
changed the. They should have like a premium style booster, right? So that way, like maybe you get 2 rares and 1 super rare in every pack, and the super rare could be swapped out for a secret rare. Maybe that's how they could have done it, and they just cut back on one uncommon, and increase the actual like quality of rares, so you could pull more rares, which means would you have a at least double the percentage of chances of getting a Kobe or a Lucky Roo or a Bonnie, and that would have been a little bit better. The super rares I think are okay for being a super rare when it comes to the price, except for Marco. But
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think it
Man,
was a great call because I mean, especially with the expectation that OP13's power creep is happening, like giving old leaders a huge buff here kind of helps them to stay relevant with OP13 and the power level increase. That's my biggest thumbs up about this set, right?
yeah. It feels like they should have just put these new cards in every single pack. But the fact that you can sometimes have multiple packs without a new card in it just feels really, really bad. And like, yeah, Kobe's $10. Law is also like there. Marco's like close to 20. The alternate art Marco is over $100. It's like so insane.
Yeah, it really makes no sense. I mean, this Luffy easier to pull, or is it just not really single out of play?
I've heard that, like, I mean, it sees a little bit of play, but I've heard that the pull rate for every single new card is the same. So the rares are just as hard to get as the super rares. So there is actually like they're all the same exact pull rate as like a new card is treated as a SR, whether it's a SR or not. So that's why sometimes even like Nami is a little bit more expensive. I gotta check the actual price on it, but like
Yeah,
the rares like Bonnie and Nami and Kobe
I was like,
are
I'm
still
pretty
worth money.
sure Nami is more expensive than this Luffy. I think she's
Yeah,
like four
exactly.
dollars and he's
Yeah,
like $2.50.
yeah.
Because
Oh, I would
I got
believe
the
that.
alt art. I got the alt
That
art of
sounds right.
Luffy. It's like $10.
Oh, nice.
It was
Oh,
kind of
really?
depressing. I was like, I looked at the
Yeah.
art and I
Wow.
was like,
That's
okay, how
less
much
than I
is
thought.
this? I was expecting $20 or something. No,
Yeah.
no, it was less. That
Hold
was
on to it though.
sad.
It's a card called
Yeah,
Luffy with alternate art. So
yeah. I mean, always fails. I could always grate it and just put it on a mantle, even though it's green. It haunts me.
but yeah.
But yeah,
These should have been in every pack, but sometimes you can get like a box and you get like 5 new cards or whatever, and it's so bad.
yeah. I've seen multiple people opening case or boxes. I don't think I've ever seen Mister Three get pulled. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's a good. They're probably not mad about it because I mean nobody plays Mister Three, but the fact that I've never seen this card get pulled is kind of crazy. I've seen Lucky Roo, I've seen Jinbei, I've seen a Kobe get pulled, but I've never seen a Mister Three.
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's
but
cool though. Jinbei saw play. Jinbei was in one of the regionals last weekend, and it was in a 7-3 Doflamingo list. So it was pretty cool.
yeah. At some point, I do want to actually discuss it. Unless you want to do it today, at some point, I think we should discuss if
What?
what things could come off the ban list with OP13. Like what card, what decks or cards could come off to bring a deck up to the power level of Emu and Ace, right? Because I do think you could
There's just not
argue.
that many cards
I mean, can
on the
Jinbei come
ban list.
off? I mean, because is Dofi that strong? It would be that oppressive in OP13. Like it would probably be really bad into Whitebeard, right? Or Ace be really good into Emu.
It'd still be pretty good into Ace. They can get a lot of 6Ks really fast, and then Ace can't ever go to 0 because you have a Diable Jambe.
Yeah,
Maybe it'd be kind of risky, but yeah, the only 2 things that you could even consider at all, I think, are Jinbei and Raigo. Like those are the only 2 things you could consider. Everything else is not reasonable.
oh, you don't think Morio can come off? I think
No,
Morio can
never.
come. I think Morio can
I
come
literally
off. I think VV's right in that. I
no,
think the
nope,
only way Morio can come off
nope.
is if it's pair banned with
Yeah.
Rebecca. So you can't have both Rebecca and Gecko Mori in the same deck. You have to pick one or the other. I think it would be a little bit more balanced.
No. I have played this game since its inception, and the only thing that ever came close there's 2 things that only ever came close to killing the game. The first was they weren't able to reprint cards fast enough, so everything in the first like 3 sets was absurdly expensive until set 4 they finally got like decent printing amount under control. And 2 was Gecko Moria. Like Gecko Moria almost killed the game. It's too flexible.
You're
There's
missing
too many
one.
ways to enable it. It makes every single black deck about Gecko Moria. Otherwise, it sucks, with the only exception being Teach. But then the entire meta is just Gecko Moria decks versus Teach, and it's terrible.
Well, right now it's going to be Emu against what? I mean, the new 10 drop 5 liters is kind of just better Gecko Moria. That's what I'm kind of.
Um,
That's what I'm kind of worried about. Like,
no.
no, you don't think it's just better?
I think Gecko Moria is probably going to beat Emu more often than not. Yeah.
I mean, it does come down
I
to the
do
turn
think,
earlier, which is relevant.
yeah. I mean, I think that Empty Throne is busted, and it's definitely been my, like, one thing that I've been talking about on stream a lot is that, like, I think it is highly likely that if there is a ban list and that I think it's highly likely that we need a ban list. And if there is one, like, my recommendations would be like I Am Whitebeard and Empty Throne. Because like Empty Throne is the card that's like really broken. A lot of times Emu is like not that scary at all, but Empty Throne single-handedly, and the fact that you can have it every single game, is what makes the deck super busted, where you can guaranteed fill your board with 5 characters, but also still hold up like 4 Dawn worth of rad beams. That's the busted thing. Because if you actually had to play 10 for it, you would die a lot of the time, both against Zoro, against Ace, and against a lot of other decks. But the fact that you can hold up all these rad beams and guard point style effects, like, means that you don't die. And Empty Throne is what lets you do that.
Yeah, Empty Throne was kind of a weird printing, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they
3
printed
is a
it.
little too cheap.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 7 drop that you get for free. I don't know why they printed it in the first place, but that's me.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's like my OP13 thinkings. I mean, they could maybe take Rygo off, but it's
yeah, I think
scary.
they
People
should.
hate Enel.
What I think they like my opinion more is more of when I'm thinking unbanning, I'm thinking of how can they maneuver the bannings into pair bannings to make it a little bit more open. Like Rygo, you could unban and easily pair band it with an L, right? And then it would be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Gecko Morio, like that's why he made the comment saying like you could unban it and pair ban it with Rebecca, so you can't go Gecko Moria into Rebecca into um, kind of just like an insane board vomit.
Yeah. I
Um,
think there's still a bunch of busted things that you could do with Gecko that are still too good.
and then some people would argue that maybe Great Eruption could be unbanned because removal is kind of bad in the first place. Um,
No way.
I mean, because it can't do anything to emu characters, right? Because they don't they have the prevent removal clause?
Yeah, but like, do we want to live in a world where it's like removal decks versus emu or whatever? There's just like,
Yeah, you would have removal decks versus emu versus ace.
and then the creature decks just lose to both.
Yeah, that would. I don't know. Because this is just restricted just to emu. Yeah.
Yeah. You can play the regular dudes in other decks, and people do. Like Sabo has literally started playing the bird, the 5-drop bird guy that KOs, or it's 6, sorry, it's a 6 cost that KOs a character if you discard a card. No, the other one, long beard, long pointy beard guy. Yeah, that one.
Marcus.
Marcus Mars. Yeah, I've seen Sabo deck start playing this because it can become a blocker and KO a character.
Yeah, and it could also probably fill this clause here at least pretty
Yeah.
consistently because it does fill his yard up.
Mhm.
You know that's bad though when Sapo picks up a that instead of
The emu
Revolutionary
card.
Army.
It's definitely a fail flavor wise. That's true.
Yeah, and it's that I don't think Roger's not putting up that much results.
Yeah, it kind of like, I guess that's like a perfect way to transition topics overall because I really like, I'm overall kind of really happy with Premium Booster's gameplay. Like,
Yeah,
I think Blue Purple Luffy is a little bit of a problem where I was saying, I think if they had added the 9-drop Sanji to the pair ban, I think that this format would be perfect because it's like Blue Purple Luffy sometimes will beat you and that's fine, but especially if they like get to ramp and do the thing. But when you just get punked out by Sanji into Mihawk, or like I lost Sanji into Dofi into Rosinante, right? And then they just have a million attack power in play and kill you before their leader effect even really matters. Like that just feels bad. So I think if they had added Sanji to the pair ban, this format would have been perfect. And it feels kind of sad that we only have this format for like 5 or 6 weeks. And
yeah,
it feels like rotation is happening in November. Rotation is not supposed to happen until April of 2026, but it feels like rotation is happening in November because OP13 kind of just rotates the entire game almost. I was kind of thinking about it and it was kind of sad where like everyone talks about like, oh, OP13 is just Ace versus Emu. And I think that's not entirely true. There
yeah,
is like, just like in this meta where it's kind of like, oh my god, OP12 is just Zoro versus Blue Purple Luffy. It's like kind of true, but there's a lot of other stuff you can do too. And that's still true in OP13, where there's like a playable deck for every color, but almost all of them are entirely built around OP13 cards, which is like kind of insane, right? Like there's busted OP13 purple cards with Roger, black cards with Emu, red cards with Ace, blue cards with Ace. Um, there's like the yellow Bonnie cards. There's the green untap all of your Dawn film and Straw Hat cards. And yeah, it just feels kind of insane.
yeah. I mean, they said they definitely did a good job of pushing every color in the set. I mean, some people are arguing that yellow is kind of a little on the downside on this when it comes to
For
OP13.
sure.
Um, but I don't like. I think Luffy is one of the leaders. I think is going to be a sleeper pick in the next few sets. Because I can't imagine they're going to print more of the support for that Luffy, red green Luffy. He is not.
Yeah,
He is not a bad leader. So
not at all.
I mean, he's just kind of getting pushed down because there's Emu and Ace in the same set. Same with Roger and
Yep.
Sabo. I think are easily the third and fourth best leaders in the
Yep.
set, but they're just getting pushed down because nobody wants to give them a shot because of Ace is so dominant, Emu is so dominant.
Yeah, those decks are definitely good, and I think there's plenty of decks that can target them as well. And we'll have to see how it actually plays out in NA and EU. Just because overall, like Japanese players just are not as innovative often as like NA and especially as EU players are. Like people here will innovate and look for different deck lists more. Like they're perfectly happy to just build a deck full of four ofs and then just copy paste from each other infinitely over there. So we'll have to see what people play outside of Ace and Emu. Those decks definitely are very, very good. But like I was saying, I think you can make small tweaks to those decks and then have them be much more reasonable, right? Where it feels like I Am Whitebeard is the biggest issue of Blue Red Ace when you get to cheat out a 10 drop early and then also have Dawn up to defend yourself. It's like both of those cards do the same thing that feels kind of busted in both Ace and Emu, where they get to play a 10 drop for cheap and then still defend themselves after with like some kind of event or blockers or whatever. And that just feels really rough. Normally, the idea is when they play a 10 drop, they're tapped out, right? And they can't do anything. And then hopefully you could kill them if you have some way to do so. But the fact that you can just play these 10 drops for cheap feels rough. And I think if they got rid of those two, the format would be more open, but it's still like more open to the other OP13 cards, which feels kind of sad.
Yeah, so like that's like it hits me kind of differently. So I think there's two thoughts for initially, right? Since I am a purple fan, it hurts me in
Hmm.
the regards to is they're not ramping, but they're doing it better than purple. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, just because of that pure nature, you know what I mean? Like they're cheating out 10 drops better than purple when the purple should be the one that gets the 10 drops faster because they take turns off
Yeah.
to ramp. But at the same time, I'm like, I play a lot of Magic, so like there was cards similar to I Am Whitebeard, so thematically, I think it's kind of fun. The fact that it could only cheat in one thing, it's kind of like there's plenty of like five drop. There's like a 5 drop where you could just drop down a big body and swing with it that turn. Like it kind of has that feel, but and that seems like that would be a blue thing, but at the same time, I like it kind of does interfere with or conflict with the purple identity
Yeah.
in the game, where it's all about ramping into your 10 drops.
Yeah, normally, like you said, that type of effect would like give it rush and then put it back to your hand end of turn or something like that. But
Hmm.
the fact that it like stays in play permanently and the 10 drop Whitebeards you can play off of it are very, 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 very good, right? 12k blocker, draw two, discard one, 12k attacker. Every single character forces you to discard 2 cards to attack the following turn. Like that's often how Ace beats Emu is by the giant tax beard, where like, okay, you have 5 characters in play, but discard 2 cards per attack, please. And you just do that 2 turns in a row, and then you kill them with Gold Roger or whatever, right? But yeah, it's definitely a rough spot. Yeah, and like if you're in purple and you're playing the 10 drop, you still have to tap out for it, and then the opponent can do a giant swing and hopefully try and kill you. But yeah, not tapping out for 10 drops is busted.
Yeah, and I am curious to see how what Blue Purple Luffy will do post 13, like how good it would be. Because I was with you originally. When I remember when they announced the pair bannings, I was like, they should have swapped Katakuri for Sanji.
Yeah.
I think just paying 8 Dawn, like any other deck, just to play a one Katakuri, I think is fine. It's
Yeah.
just Sanji has way more. The ceiling of Sanji is higher. Um,
Yeah. I think they could have just added Sanji on top. Just do all three, but we'll see. I think Blue Purple Luffy is not going to be that relevant until we get the Roger promo, just because it dies a little bit too easily against Ace and Emu, right? Like, um, Emu, they just can't kill any of their characters, and Ace just has too many 10 drops. Like the 10 drops are just better than your 9 drops.
yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like, is we're gonna come into the world where we're rethinking, like, should we have
Yeah.
done those pair bannings for Blue Purple Luffy? Should we just strip those two out and leave Sanji only? Because it's just
I I'm always going to advocate for more bans,
I
not less,
I, I
which is
get it,
unfortunate. But
but you also have to like fact calculate in like what's the power level of the two decks at the top, like or
no,
cards.
we'll just ban cards from that deck as well. Like
Yeah,
we
you could
don't
do.
need to unban or whatever. Leave that for Legacy.
Yeah, vintage, bam, baby.
Yeah,
Uh
that's just my take. I mean, I'm a little. That's my controversial take about it. It's just like I want to ban first and then unban later. Maybe like unban once it's been on the ban list for at least a year or something, at least minimum.
yeah, it's like it's one of those things. Like, what do you hit? Like, I mean, if you hit the stage, then it's like, what's the point of emo, right? I guess you get the Mary.
Yeah, you just have to play with the 1 drop stage.
Yeah, and then basically you're just getting a cost reduction. So I
Yeah.
guess that would make this a 9 drop, right?
Yeah, but you have to also pay 1 and sacrifice it. That's the other text of the card.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a 10-12, and you have to pay 1, sacrifice it, and
Oh,
discard a card to get all 5 characters
you're talking about
from
this
your
one.
graveyard into play. Yeah.
No, I thought you said the stage. You had to sack the stage. I was like, what? What?
No, you sack the 10 drop. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying this. So this would be a 9 drop, which would
Yeah.
be still fine. Like you're not
Hmm.
gonna be upset if you cheat in the Mary Joie and then get this for 9. Like
Yeah, but you have to pay one on top, so it's 10. Its effect costs 1 Don. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can play it for 9, but you have to wait a turn to use this effect. Then, if that's the
Yeah.
case.
Contrary to popular belief, this card is balanced when it costs 10.
Yes, because you have to wait a turn.
Yes.
Unless somehow, and then again, there's no green emu, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
balanced.
Even when
Now,
it costs 9, it's kind of balanced because you can still just kill them.
now if they ever printed a green black emu, then it might not be balanced.
Yeah.
If the green ability is to untap
Yeah.
gone, then
Yes. Yeah.
but
Mhm.
yeah, it should have been balanced. But I don't know why they thought this would be a good idea to go past testing with this card.
Yeah.
Um,
It should cost way more than 3 for sure.
or this should not have been a 5 elders card
Yes.
because then you couldn't cheat it.
Yes. Yep.
Then it would have been fair.
Yep. Um, but I mean, like, my recommendation for OP13 would be to start with banning I Am Whitebeard and Empty Throne, see what happens to the format, and then, like, if you need to hit the actual leaders, sorry, RIP, we fucked this one up. GG, go next, but just ban it or whatever. But we'll have to see. I mean, 2 deck format's still better than 1 deck format, I guess. And I don't think it's quite as bad as 2 deck format, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if you did that, literally these two decks would be probably at the power level of Roger,
Yes.
at same footing as Roger and Sabo, and it would be a little bit more of a square instead of a 2 on top and then a pseudo tier 2, upper tier
Yeah, I
2.
agree.
So the candy is over here mentioning we're kind of bashing these two, but we're not really mentioning Zoro.
Yeah.
Zoro just kind of over there just chilling
Yep.
as the third deck in the triangle, but no one really cares enough, I guess, to
It's
mention
fine.
him in this podcast. Um,
I I am okay with linear aggro decks. Linear aggro decks are fine with me because they're very easy to, like, specific target, right? Like, you could just add some hate cards to your deck. Like, if Zoro ever starts getting really good, like, Sabo can just start playing 4 copies of Black Vortex, and then you probably just win that matchup for free. Like, it is a significantly more targetable and hateable deck than either Ace or Emu or even Roger, in my opinion.
yeah, so what I do think is kind of nice is the fact that so we get OP13 coming, and then following suit we get OP14. We get half of EBO4 cards. So maybe they in that section they start boosting up other leaders that maybe we would want. So that's something we maybe we it's not all grim. So if you're thinking it's going to be gray and grim over there, remember EBO4 is coming literally in OP14. Half of it is. So maybe it's not that grim because maybe it'll push your leader up enough to compete with Emu and Ace. So
Yeah, I'm a little scared of them, like, pushing leaders to be as broken as Emu and Ace are, as because
I'm not
they're
necessarily saying
really good.
I'm not really
They're really
saying
good.
I don't think that ever could be that broken because I mean it's more of the leader itself is pretty strong, right? I mean getting this
Yeah,
extra card advantage and being able to decrease the power by 2,000. That's a good control leader.
yeah, it's
So
pretty good, but, like, I feel like I don't know. Emu, I definitely think feels like 80% of the power is Empty Throne, just like by itself. But Ace, Ace is a good leader for sure, but the card quality in Ace is just so high. You have so many good cards and so many cards that just say draw card, right? Like or draw 2 cards. The Marco, the Yamato, Otama, the Whitebeard. Um, there's just so many high quality cards in the micro deck as well. That it's like, or in the ace deck, sorry, That's
Yeah,
tough. Yeah.
but part of me is like, I think it's kind of overdue, right? Blue has been kind of a very subpar color for quite some time.
Yeah, that's fair.
They've kind of needed this love at some point to make them where they're at least some equal footing to other colors. So I'm all
Mhm.
for that. Like, I actually, this new gate is pretty sweet. Like, it's a nice 10 drop. Um, Maybe at some point we'll get a sweet like a purple white beard,
Yeah,
purple blue white beard with that would be kind of sweet. But
that would be
and
cool.
this Yamato is pretty sweet, pretty good too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really good.
yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I just need to start sitting down again and figuring out more how I want to build this. If I build it without Barco, but
Yeah. Still totally doable without Marco for sure. Like I said, there's so many cards. You could just play a significantly more aggressive version if you wanted to, playing like Flame Emperor or even the Vista that's there, the 6/8. It's pretty good
the
as
blue
well.
one right here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the only my biggest we said it before, but the biggest issue with being that aggressive, I like aggressive decks, but it just having 3 life might bring that a little bit harder. But
Oh,
then
but
again,
you draw so
I did
much.
a little bit more aggressive smoker, and I literally played it on stream if through ranked a few like last week or week before, and I crushed people with it. I didn't lose a match; I lose a game. I was happy. Um, so I did basically what when we were talking before. Like I took your list. I literally swapped the one Bonnie Volmer Law, and I just kind of annihilated people. It felt good. Um,
Yeah. That's nice. I mean, like, Ace just has so many card draw of its own that it feels like the 3 life isn't that scary. And also, just like, it is a really, like, Ace so often is really good at just being like, I'm going to go to 0 and then play a bunch of 10 drop blockers and then play Gold Roger. And then when I have Gold Roger plus a 12K and you can't block, I kill you. And like you can actually just set up a million 2Ks in your hand because of all your draw card effects and like cycling.
yeah, I actually kind of wonder maybe that's it. Maybe blue purple Luffy needed this extra line of text right here. If it said if you have more than 8 Dawn and whenever you take damage once per turn, look at the top 5, take one and then put them on top or bottom in any order.
Mm. I don't know if we need to make Blue Purple Luffy even better.
Would that be better? I mean, it would only be when you take damage. So you would have to take damage to be able to get the look top 5, take one card, and so it would. I think it'd make it significantly worse, right? Because
Yeah,
it's not just right before you draw. It would be you would have to take a hit, like
right. I see what you
aces.
mean.
It would be significantly worse. Um,
Yeah, there's
but
definitely a lot of issues with Blue Purple Luffy.
but is there any other topics you want to cover? Because at some point we will be discussing our new tier list from OP13 on the podcast.
Sure.
I don't know if that's going to be next week or the week after, because we usually want to do it like at least before the week before the set drops,
Yeah.
and that's 7th, I believe, next month. So
Hmm.
either we could do it on the 1st, or we could do it the last week of October. Um, oh, maybe what we should do on Halloween week, we could do the spookiest deck list. Bam.
Wow.
Let's talk about the spookiest deck list. Gecko Moria
True.
featured.
Oh, I don't know if that's the spookiest deck list. Oh, but actually, I was also surprised. Someone also got like top 64 at the regional in Europe with Gecko Moria playing 4 copies of the new 6/7.
Yeah, I guess I should have asked you that. So not just about your regional experience. Was there any other spicy decks that you've seen other than you said somebody piloted a 7-3 with Dofi? Is there any other spicy decks you've seen in your
Yeah, there
regional?
was a Gecko Moria. The Eggman video just released today. Kalgara did pretty well. Yeah, there was a Kalgara deck that did well. That the really spicy one was definitely the Gecko Moria.
But that
Yeah,
was, oh yeah, because they all would have been the same regional, but they were
yeah, it
just
was
based out of Europe,
long.
right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
But they played in an American tournament.
No, there was one in America, but there was also in Europe. The America one was on Sunday, but there was a one in Europe on Saturday.
Ah, cool.
Here, I guess we can look at it as maybe the last thing we do.
Yeah, I mean, we should always talk about spicy decks. I mean, because
Yes.
spicy decks, I love talking about spicy decks because if it makes more people play non off meta, the better.
Yeah.
I don't like
I
this.
tried to make this deck work, but I couldn't figure it out, the Gecko Moria list. But an Italian streamer, I think it was actually literally Luis Amato, TCG, who is a regular Italian streamer who's also really, really pretty good. So, I mean, this list was kind of sweet.
Yeah. So, I mean, Brooke's a good inclusion. I mean, this still got Rebecca. We have the Gecko Moria for the Rebecca, and then I mean, he probably should have more three drops in this to cheat down, but
Yeah, but sometimes you just put down, you get three or less. So sometimes you just put down Toy Soldier, Suru as well. But
because it looks like all your cheaper stuff are all your 2Ks.
yeah,
So
I'm
it's like
surprised no expensive cards at all. Just 4, 6, 7, 4 Tempest Kick, 4 Finger Pistol. That's it.
yeah, you top out at 6. I mean, because you have to pay 2 for this effect, right? Yeah, when attacking, you pay
Mhm.
2. So I mean, it makes sense, I guess. You mean because you have a Dawn, you're gonna pay 6 here, pay 2 here. It's gonna be a decent amount of Dawn you're already allocating, and this has to have Dawn on it, right? Yeah, so this needs 3 Dawn for Gecko
Mhm.
Moria, plus the 6, so that's 9 of your Dawn allocation.
Yeah, there's some numbers that are a little interesting, like which ones he's playing like 2 or 3 copies of, right? Like 2 Ryuma was the other card that like kind of surprised me. Kuzan makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
I guess I'll get. Yeah, this is not the same one. I was thinking of the green one. Yeah, this is Double Strike. Hmm.
It's like an aggressive card sometimes.
Yeah,
You can reanimate it with your leader as well.
it's a forward drop that basically swings for 7 Double Strike.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. I mean, I get that
Yeah.
this leader here wants you to play 4 drops to get the most out of your value, but I don't know. But is it worth playing Shirahoshi over a 3 drop? I don't know.
It's just a nice little additional -4 or whatever, right? Where it also has counter and can block in the late game. It works really good in combination with some of the other cards. I think the maybe you could play the 4th copy of Hina, but I assume you just wanted to play the extra blocker to not die.
I'll have to keep this one on my mind because actually, that I am for my playing every leader series. I'm actually now hitting OP5, so
Nice.
I might actually just pick up and try this Gecko Moria list right here and see how it
Yeah.
does. Um, I'm
Yeah.
actually kind of happy, excited about OP5 because OP5 has a decent amount of good leaders.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
Betty, you have this. Um, there's quite a bit if I remember when I looked at it. Like I remember, didn't we talk about on the podcast before that OP5 was like the first wave of just power creep. Rosante is pretty
Oh
interesting.
no, it was 4, I think. Oh no, was it 5? No, 5 was 5, right?
Yeah, so I could
Sokka,
see.
Purple Luffy, and L. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was 5.
yeah. So this is like where the power creep
And
happens.
Moria.
And now, oh, Gecko Moria is in this. You said the A drop one, or
No, but you said the leader is in this, no? Gecko Moria leader?
oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's
No, it's 6.
Yes, it must be 6.
Okay.
Yeah, 6. I think was a little bit weaker. Uda,
Yeah, but
Hody
it had
Jones,
Aesop, Gecko Moria
Perona,
in it, so nothing else mattered. Oh, and Hody Jones.
Reishu's pretty base though.
Yeah.
There's Gecko Moria. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. Like I knew it was very early in the actual thing, and yeah.
Man.
So I mean,
Gecko Moria made competitive Magic miserable for an entire year. It was so bad.
talking about A drop Gecko Moria
Yeah,
or the
it dropped
leader.
Gecko Moria. When it came out, it was so bad because first they banned like Great Eruption and Sakazuki, but Moria was still legal, so it was just being played in Gecko Moria. And then BY Luffy came out, so it would just get played in BY Luffy, and Lucci came out as well. And then they banned the Lucci stage, and they didn't ban Moria still. And then it was just Gecko Moria plus BY Luffy everywhere. It was like, yeah. There was an entire year where they banned like other cards that weren't Moria twice, and Moria was just a top deck in the format in multiple different decks. It was so bad.
Yeah. Hopefully at some point we get a new dragon.
Agreed.
I don't think they did him justice.
Not at all.
I mean, he is like the face of the Revolutionary Army, even though you don't really ever see him. But yeah, he should probably at some point get another leader. Um,
Yeah.
but I think we're dragging on a little too long over the
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we don't have any questions from chat. Let us know in the comment section if you guys want us to do more of this kind of style, where we might do maybe once a month or something, where we do a live podcast, just so we can engage with the community and you guys ask questions live. Let us know in the comment section if you guys are interested in seeing something like this. Um, so we'll keep it in mind and maybe do it for another edition as well. What's your closing thoughts?
Like I said, I've really been enjoying PRB. I'm gonna try and enjoy playing it a little bit more. When you don't play against Blue Purple Luffy every round, the format feels really great. Though you do play against it an unfortunately high amount. OP13 is gonna be weird, but I'm still gonna try and find other off meta decks to play. Probably not gonna play Ace or Emu unless I have to. I'm gonna try like Purple Luffy first. I might even succumb and play Green Zoro. But gonna try some other decks around there too. Maybe I can even get together Red Black Sabo, which I do think is a cool deck as well. But it's still an interesting time to be playing the game. I think OP13, like I said, is awkward how much it's changing the power level of stuff. But we'll have to see what happens when we actually get it. And I still feel like it's a good time to be a One Piece player. So, yeah, I'm excited to keep doing podcasts and streams and playing games and stuff. But yeah, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I am gonna mark it down my calendar when LP13 comes out and project like 3-4 weeks after, and I'm just waiting for DatHalfBreed to say I miss Blue Purple Luffy being the boogeyman of the format.
Oh,
I'm
no.
just waiting for it because I imagine it has to happen. When he faces Emu and Ace so much, she's like, I miss Blue Purple Luffy being the boogeyman. But
I don't
yes,
think you'll ever catch me saying I miss Gecko Moria or Blue Purple Luffy. I think those are like the stain on the game or whatever. I don't know. It's weird. I've been playing the game since the start, and there's like a lot of metas that I really, really enjoyed. But funnily enough, the metas I enjoyed the most are always the ones right after bans. So
yeah, that's because I mean nothing's solved. It's a whole refresh. So it's a
yes,
nice little feeling there until people solve the best deck again, and you're just banging your head again. But
true.
sometimes you get lucky, and it's just a great meta even post figuring it out. Like so. But yeah, so I'm gonna be streaming every day of the week. So tonight, typically, I stream One Piece on Monday nights and also Wednesday nights, and then the other 2 nights I do Pokemon and Magic. So I am playing Magic once a week now. Just doing 3 decks and that's it. overall, I'm excited about what's to come for One Piece. I think it's just arguably the best TCG out there, honestly. And again, I haven't played Gundam or any other TCGs yet that are available for, remote sim access. Because, I mean, Riftbound, I can't play unless I go to paper. It's going to be very difficult to do that. So, and yeah, that's going to be the closing part of Ace Podcast 21. So, next time I guess I should have I should have bought us both booze and sent them to our house. We
Yes.
could have had a little cheer for 21. But, until next time, we'll return 22 and
Yeah.
hopefully you guys have a great night.
Good night.